Welcome to the Walk in Victory podcast, where we sit you at the feet of the masters.
It's your boy, your host, Tillman, and you are with me for another episode of Walk in Victory. I do want to acknowledge the passing of OJ Simpson, who passed away today. I'm not going to give it was he guilty or not. He was a great football player. He played on some horrible teams. But he was, as an individual, he was a great football player. He was able to revive his career because he became a great actor. Those movies that he did, then he did those commercials where he's running through the airports and stuff like that. Out of all of the stuff this man did in his life, this is going to be his legacy. And when he gave them an opportunity to get him, they got him. And he went to jail for stealing his own stuff. Rest in peace. I had to acknowledge that because regardless of how you feel about a person, he moved numbers, he added commerce, and he gave, in a time where it was hard to break those color barriers.
It's funny how you can get a vibe real quick, right? You'd be driving on the highway, you'll see signs. I've stopped to put gas and I'm like, I need to make this stop as quick as possible. Like, if you don't embrace the fact that things are changing, the change is scary. But if you don't embrace that, it's probably only a matter of time before you become either disconnected or irrelevant. I just help high-level people, business owners, entrepreneurs try and reach their full potential. It doesn't matter what the skin is of what I'm doing, like what the outward facing. At the end of the day, I just love working with people and seeing people reach their potential. If you have the drive to succeed, I want to work with you. I've been hard pressed to find people who rolled up their sleeves and said, I'm going to work hard, I'm going to hustle, not make something out of themselves.
And you can see potential, you can see talent. And you're like, wow, if somebody was just pour into them. When you get older, you work with adults. You see the kid in them again. How do you start to engage with them to help them to shift that mindset?
The coach in me, that's the emotional connection. That's the mindset. I probably shouldn't publicize this, but I routinely have clients cry in my meetings. But that's because we're living life. This is real stuff. What does success look like for you? And so when people frame that, because that looks different. Don't tell me success looks like $10 million. That success is not a number. Right? What does it look like? What does it feel like? Does it look like you having the boundaries and the freedom to be able to do the things, to leave a legacy? I'm really good at starting things, but I'm not good at finishing them. The sooner I can get people to be grounded in reality, let's acknowledge the good and the bad. I've just come to learn that, truthfully, like the lyrics go, more money, more problems, that at the end of the day, the problems we all share, people are afraid of failure, which, again, let me be human for a second. That's wild to me. I'm afraid of failing you, and I'm the coach. The fear of not living up to expectations. I have an expectation to be honest with my clients. I owe it to them and I owe it to myself. I'm like, you know what? This is reality. Reality is neither good or bad. It's reality.
This is reality, yeah.
And what I choose to do with it, that'll be good or bad, but it's just reality. Both horses dead. I was 3 inches from meeting with Jesus. I turned that one client into a business, and I slowly working through my pain and all this stuff. I built a business and built systems, structures, hired employees, and did that for about 10 years. Decided I need to ask myself that question. That's it. And you know what? The market's going to dictate real quick if that's too high or too low, and we'll figure it out. This first 5 clients, I'm not going to charge all of them the same. I'm not going to do the same thing. Let this be a learning opportunity for me. If I can get in the room, I'll be good. Doesn't matter if it's a client. Doesn't matter if it's a friendship. I just need to get in the room. And so I got in the room a bunch in those early days. But as quickly as I was adding clients, I was losing them because the business was built on me. And so I got to a point where I said, look, I can't keep doing this. It's exhausting trying to build a business and then losing the business. And so I started to teach myself some of these systems, and that's where Google came in real handy. But it started with me just going, okay, what are all the things I do? And what are the things that I cannot depend on myself for anymore, that need to be time agnostic? We'll say that. And so I started taking those things and I started to figure out, okay, I can't afford to bring people on right now. So can I automate some of this? Can I use some of the tools or softwares? There's got to be something, right? And now with AI, that stuff is crazy. And that 3-step framework, that automate, eliminate, delegate, I just ran in my life.
One of my things that I try to get past to understand is that it's still business at the end of the day.
I turn down clients all the time, if I'm being straight with you, because I don't like them. I'm always going to veer on the relationship side. I'm always going to push people to invest more in people. It's one of the models of my business. I tell people, I say, if you build business or if you build people, they will build the business. If I'm going to give you an example, it's like, okay, things that can get automated, reminders, emails, right? A lot of administration, things that shouldn't be automated, having customer facing, customer service related things. I want to prepare people to say, look, it's not, this level of progress is not a bad thing. What it does is it exposes the fractures in our systems. Man, hopefully I'll be doing some public speaking again. I have no problem being like, I just don't want to be here. I honestly, I feel like this man needs to go through the 5 stages of grief. Like, you need to just straight up acknowledge everything one shot. It's going to be painful. It's going to be horrendous. The backlash is going to be brutal. There's going to be consequences. But once that happens, that will fade. But you at least have a semblance to turn something that was real messy into hopefully something that's remotely decent.
A lot of people don't like to get ahead of it because, yes, it does hurt to be embarrassed.
You're the one who's confused. Let's be real.
He confused that you confused. And this is the world we live in right now, right? And it's crazy. You can walk with your head down. You can walk making excuses. You can walk using whatever crutch you have to say, I can't do anything else. But here we got someone walking in victory with chronic headaches, got trampled by horses, flipped over in cars, and still yet he's walking in victory. So you have no excuse. You need to walk in victory too.